Okay guys, so I'm back with week 2 of the Winter Flurries Mystery Quilt, and that is for Fort Worth Fabric Studio. And I do notice on here that it says it's designed by Lindsay Waite. Yeah, so I thought I would mention that. I didn't notice on the first week. I'm sure it was probably there. I just didn't notice. So the fabrics that we are going to use for week 2 are O, E, and D. And we're going to be making 4 blocks all together. And what we are going to do for each block is we are going to, let's lay them out. It's going to be an O on the top, an O on the bottom, and then, let's see, there's going to be an E directly under the O and above the O, and then the D is going to go right in the middle. So put those aside now. And then we're going to have an O, and then an E, E, O, O, and O. Okay, and we're going to do 4 of those. Let me move that over. We're going to do 4 of those, and so what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to put them together in stacks, and I'm going to take them over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to chain piece and do all these rows one at a time. And then after we sew them across, and then we'll have like, this will be a row, this will be a row, this will be a row. I'm sure you're getting the point. Then we will attach the rows to each other. So then we will have one big square. And the way that the square is going to look square is if you look at it from this direction. And then they're going to have us trim it down to 6.5 inches. So I went ahead and I left all of the tape on this from the last one so that we can just go ahead and use it for these blocks. Okay, so let me get that ready, and I will come over to the ironing. Don't I do this at least once in every video? I will come over to the sewing machine and we will sew those together. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I know that these all look like they're just little, I don't know, it's all the white is on the top, so you can hardly see where these are, but I have all 4 of the blocks, and they're different rows, and I'm going to sew the blocks together first, and then we're going to sew all the rows together and then do our trimming. So it's just mostly more sewing than anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain piece. I will get started and we'll just speed it up a little bit, okay? Okay, so I have all of my rows stitched up. I'm going to go over to the ironing board and press them. The thing that I want to note to you guys is you want to make sure, because we're going to be attaching, like for each pile here, you're going to be attaching each row to each other. So in order to make it easier to do that, you'll want to, obviously the first row is one block. There's no ironing. The second row, you want to make sure that you iron the seams or press the seams in one direction, and in the next row you want to press the seams in the opposite direction, and then again with the fourth row, again the opposite direction. That way the seams will all nest, and it'll be really easy to like make sure that all of your corners all match each other and all hit exactly where they're supposed to. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will be back to stitch all of the rows together. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back. I have done all the pressing, and I have marked a 1/4 inch seam, or I should say a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance on all of this. So now I'm just going to start putting them together, and this is the part that I don't know, I hate joining rows like this because I always feel like everything I do is skews right or left or top or up and down or whatever. So I'm going to do the best I can, and let's get going. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try starting in the middle and working out. Okay guys, we're at the point now where I'm going to go press these out, and then we're going to trim them to the 6.5 inch square that we need to trim them to. One thing I wanted to say before I go over and start doing that is, if you are having trouble with these blocks, this one in particular, okay, the recording stopped because we hit 30 minutes. So as I was saying, just don't be hard on yourself, because I did find these blocks to be a little challenging. So, you know, I think this is a really good time to learn new things and I certainly am, because I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how these turn out. So anyway, I'm going to go and press them, and then I'll bring you over and we'll trim them up, trim the blocks up to the 6-inch square, 6.5-inch square. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I've pressed them all out. I'm ready to trim them up. So I have my ruler with my tape already marked. I'm going to take the first block and I'm going to turn it sideways, because what we're doing is we're going to cut it and make a square this way, okay? So that in the center you have like an X. Alright? So now basically, let me try to remember, 6.5, 3.25 is the middle. So I'm going to take where my 3.25 line is and try to make that exactly where. Alright, I'm just going to try to put it in the center. Now this needs to just move over this way. I've got little white lines, and okay, I think I went too far, because on the top there's my 3.25, and right, this needs to, wow, that needs to move a lot. 3.25 is there. That's not. If I do that, then that takes it. That's 3.25. That's not. And if I move it, then that's not 3.25. Okay, so obviously my blocks are skewed just a little bit, so that's okay. What I'm trying to do is where the 3.25 line is, which is half of 6.5, I'm trying to make that go right down the middle where the points are on the blocks. And this one is off a little bit. And then if I go 3.25 line down this way, trying to get down to the middle, it's off like just by a tad. So I'm going to cut here. That's where I'm going to cut. Alright. And then I'm going to flip it around. And all I need to do now is take the 6.5 line mark and put it to the corners, because I've already done all the hard work. Oops. And then I just want to kind of double check again, just to see where we are. Okay, so it's roughly doing the same thing that it did on the other side, where it's just off by like a tad. Tad. I don't know if I want to see. This one is where, this one's here. Nope, it's here. Wait, 3.5, okay, right here. That's, yeah, it's just off like a tad bit. And then 3.25. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna cut there. Okay. So, I probably won't keep you guys on the line for the whole thing. You guys have seen how it works. If you need to see it again, go ahead and just rewind and you can watch again. But here we are, and it's cut and it's square like it's supposed to be. That's how it's going to end up. I think it's like an, yep, just like an X, so just like that. And we're going to have 4 like that after I finish trimming. So hopefully this has helped you out. Like I said, I found it just a little challenging, so don't you know, be really hard on yourself if you're having a little bit of trouble. Just take it real slow and, you know, just do the best you can. I think it'll come out great. I'll see you next time.